Okay, so so I read this before. I'm not gonna read it again, but we got on a boat. We're gonna try to make the boat go faster. We succeeded. The boat now has the militia emblem on the sail. Logic is blue this time, so they've kidnapped the captain, and we're gonna use logic, and hopefully we'll pass. Blue, don't fail me now. You step between the two factions and slam your wand into stone. The small spell you set off creates a loud explosion, and the swashbucklers reel back, lapsing into silence. You fold your arms and demand to know exactly what they think they are doing. After all, the captain is their leader's father. Do any of them want to have to tell her that they allowed him to be carried off by pirates? She may not be on the best of terms with her father, but you're willing to bet that she wouldn't be pleased to lose him, especially to the pirates who are her mortal enemies. You make a strong case. You point logically and well argued. Once you've finished, you step back and wait for Fernand's reply. He glares at Darrow for a long moment before slowly nodding his head. Aye, all right, off with ye. We've a ceasefire for now, he says, as the rest of the swashbucklers murmur in protest. He holds up a hand. No, he's a brave man. Any of you want to be the first to tell our leader that you let her father be carted off by the same pirates who did away with her husband? Silence. You glance at Daros and he nods, ordering the militiamen into a run. The whole groups of you dash across the blue sand and after the pirates. You have to stop them. Unfortunately, you reach the edge of the island just in time to see the pirates sailing off in your ship, with the captain on board. He's not moving and you fear that he's unconscious, but you watch the boat sail out of sight and get a real good look at where they're going, the Pirate Cove. The trip off the island is long and dangerous. Luckily, the swashbucklers help a bit with great show of reluctance. They disappear shortly after reaching Minta, and you aren't sure where they've gone. You have an idea they plan to cause trouble of some sort. Who knows? The most important thing is to help the captain. Daros organizes a strike group so fast that you barely had time to replenish your pallet and stock up on some magical items you might need. You manage to convince Daros that he needs to take you along, and he makes you swear on your honor as a militia member that you won't get into trouble. You swear, but your fingers are crossed. It's a long trek out to the cove and it's made even more dangerous than usual by the number of pirates that are hanging around. Somehow you manage to remain undiscovered until you reach the steps leading down into the secret maze of the cove below. You can hear guffaling, raucous laughter. Shouting in the unmistakable sound of iron clanging off iron, you glance at Daros. He looks worried. With such a large amount of pirates, there's very little chance that the militiamen will even reach the captain alive. This isn't going to be easy. But you have a plan. You quietly point out to him that it's no good all the militia trying to get down there. With the number of people, you'll be spotted in a few seconds. However, you might be able to slip into the headquarters and locate the captain without being discovered. Daros goes a funny shade of red, probably because he can't think of any other way out. Before you can come up with something, you slip away and start clambering down the steps. You hide in the shadows, pressing yourself against the sheer rock walls. It's a tricky climb, and you're terrified of giving the whole game away. By the time you reach the bottom, you're soaked in sweat and shivering. However, you can hear some of the pirates' conversation now. It seems that someone is causing trouble, and has barricaded himself in the storeroom. You have a pretty good idea of who that someone could be. It's not too hard to blend in with the crowd and follow the general crush heading for a solid wooden door. You took care to hide your school colors and your badge. Hopefully you'll just look like another impressible kid who's trying to mingle with the big bad pirates. It seems to work. You make it to the storeroom without any fuss, and you slip down a corridor to your side. You're looking for a window or a gap of some sort that will let you in, and you find one. It's been blocked off, but after you hammer away for what feels like hours, the bits and pieces of wood are torn away and you find yourself staring at the irritated face of the captain. As soon as he recognizes you, he seems to come to two quick decisions. One, that asking you questions while you're standing in the corner may not be the wisest course of action, and two, that while inside the storeroom is dangerous, outside the storeroom is far worse. He acts quickly, reaches out through the small gap, and tugs you through. It's far too small for an adult, and even you find it a bit of a squeeze. It's only through a lot of wiggling and struggling that you manage to slide out into the musty cold air of the storeroom. "What in Octavius' name are you doing here?" the captain says, folding his arms and glaring balefully at you. From where you've collapsed on the stone floor, he's quite an impressive figure. His coat is torn, his shirt is grubby, and unless you're very much mistaken, there's a rather suspicious dark stain creeping over his arms. His head is bare, and he looks as though he'd be a match for the new gods themselves. There's a lot of pages to this. You explain, and he sighs in annoyance. Dara should never have let you do something so blastedly foolish. As he speaks, he sways slightly, and you realize that he's weaker than he appears. I've barricaded them out for now, but it won't hold forever. Somehow you manage to make him sit down. He collapses with a sigh, and you suddenly come to the terrifying conclusion that this is it. You're the only one who can help now. You're the last chance for the captain's escape. You cast a frantic eye around your surroundings and begin to get a glimmering of a plan. There's a couple of good blades, some ratty finery. Yes, this just might work. You begin tearing around the room at a frantic pace. You pull together armfuls of clothes, weapons, and bits of tacky pirate jewelry. You fling them into a pile in the center of the room, rooting them around behind barrels and dim cases until you have a veritable junk pile. The captain watches wearily, his head propped up in his hands. He's obviously very tired. He hasn't even bothered to ask you what's happening yet. Finally, you feel that you have retrieved everything that you need. It's ready. You pick through the clothes and pull together a few that look about the right size. You shove them towards the captain and start searching for clothes for yourself. "Rune, we can't disguise ourselves as pirates and slip out the back door," the captain says, sighing. "For one thing, there is no back door. For another, they may be rather simple, but the pirates aren't fools. They're perfectly capable of the simple arithmetic that one needs to deduce that if one man goes into a room and later on one man's exit that room, it's very certain that they're the same man." You explain in several clipped, breathless sentences that the captain smiles broadly. The two of you shrug into brightly colored clothes. You manage to dredge up a rather unpleasant-looking eye patch, which the captain puts on with undisguised glee. Not waiting to push your luck, you decide against wearing the one yourself and restrain yourself to several gaudy earrings. When you finish, you look like a buccaneer's son, and the captain looks positively villainous. You hand him a sword, take one yourself, and then start to cast your spell. It takes a few moments to get it exactly right, but you don't want to run any chance of it wearing off at the wrong moment. Finally, it's ready, and you cast it liberally over both yourself and the captain. Both of you begin to glow eerily, like two phantoms walking the paths of the dead. You grin, and the captain smiles. It's a scary smile, and the eye patch doesn't help at all. Time to go scare some pirates. It takes minutes to remove the barricade, and you let the door swing naturally open. The captain holds his glowing sword over one shoulder nonchalantly, and you crouch with your sword wavering a bit in your unsteady hands. The spell took a lot out of you, and you're beginning to feel lightheaded. Finally, the door swings to a rest, and the pirates who are outside shove their way in. They stop, blinking in the half-light, and stare at the two ghostly figures before them. As one they blink, you step forward, they step back. The captain makes an eerie, groaning noise at the back of his throat. That's it, they run. It's as easy as anything to wander out and slip down a deserted hallway. By the time the two of you get out to fresh air, you find yourself in the middle of a battlefield. Militia, swashbucklers, and pirates are battling on all sides. Darius is leading a group of militia in the form the right, while the captain's very own daughter leads a group of her men in a form to the left. The captain seems to gain a strange sort of strength just from seeing his daughter. He readies his blade in one hand and gives a loud cry and charges towards her. You try desperately to catch up, but your legs are weak and you can barely catch your breath. You make it about as far as the nearest militiaman before you collapse. Before the world completely disappears, you see the captain and his daughter fighting side by side like demons. You're sure you've never seen the captain so happy before. When you wake up, the fighting is over. The militia and the swashbucklers won, pushing the pirates back into the sea. The captain can't thank you enough for your help and promotes you to the special rank of honorary lieutenant. Darius is technically a real lieutenant himself, but he always salutes you now, a salute that isn't completely in fun either. But best of all, the captain and his daughter have mended their bridges and rejoined forces. It's a happy ending at last, and you helped to make it happen. I feel pretty good. Okay, we succeed at the adventure. And we increased our insight by 1. So let's look. Our insight is now 9, which is crazy. But I'll take it. Let's see, and nothing else really happened to the day, so don't care about tabbing. Next, studied. So we literally went to class and then did this whole adventure during the night. That's awesome. Ned did not succeed at study. Lambert, who cares? Malcresta, who cares? Evelyn did not succeed at using study. Who cares about Casper? And Prudence, Russ did today. Good for her. We did it. We completed the militia captain's adventure. That was a lot. Let's see. We brought up revision, calligraphy. Next few things we need to raise up. Diplomacy, plot, hide, climb. We can probably save that for next time. Well, we can start probably doing diplomacy maybe. Let me see how that looks so far. Okay, we're gonna have to do selective focus. Bring that up. I'm just a little worried we're getting close to exams. Because I want to finish Evelyn's and I want to do Netta's. Let's see. I'm not seeing exams yet. I can probably check online and see when the year ends. Or, I can just keep going. Okay. So the last day seems to be Caleri 28. So let's see how many months are in between. So Caleri and Dias for Naxi. Okay, so we're in Vernaxi, then 2 more months, so that should be fine, I think. Okay, let's finish the week off, I think. Okay, so yeah, let's bring up diplomacy. That's the next thing on my list. So we'll use selective focus to make that a little easier. Diplomacy, yes. In your wanderings on the fringe of the Imperial Reserves, you happen upon a young woman in distress up ahead. She's looking up the tree before her and pitiable crying for Snowball to climb back down. By simply observing the scene, you can summarize the scenario. Ground-bounding squirrel used bushy tail to taunt the cat. Cat escaped girl's control in pursuit. Squirrel raced up tree with cat in tow and leaped to the branch of a nearby tree, abandoning a now very frightened Snowball. Fortunately for you, the young woman has yet to notice you. So simply leaving this girl to her own dilemma is an option. But not an option for Rune Slugbed. One day gonna be police officer. I don't know how this works anymore. We're probably gonna be joining the militia one day with what we just went through, so tough luck kid, not my problem. No. Negation, Snowball takes wing. Animal husbandry, I'll climb up there and see what I can do. Negation, it's what I believe we're very good at. You speak with the young woman and reassure her that you'll get her pet down safely before casting a negation magic to alter gravity around the poor animal. You alter the gravity around the cat successfully, but Snowball's growling out of great disapproval as he sternly claws at the tree limb. It takes some fancy last-minute adjustments, but you're able to dislodge the cat claws successfully from the tree limb and levitate the animal to the nurturing arms of its owner. She wraps her arms around the trembling animal and proceeds to comfort Snowball the best she can, before thanking you for your assistance. She apologizes for not having anything to give you for your deed, but swears to remember this and repay you one day. That's fine. It took like a minute out of my day. Okay. So, Tallulah competed. You increased your character skill step by 1, which is nice, I guess. Prudence did not succeed at Get Ready for Negation. Evelyn did not succeed at Study. Netta rested today. Good for her.